We are here with head coach Glenn Caruso following a 16-10 win over Valparaiso. We will start with opening comments from coach and then open it to the floor for questions.
First and foremost, want to say as sincere and authentic a thank you to our seniors as we possibly can. 17 guys played their last snaps of football today, and they're from all over the country. They look all different. They have all types of different backgrounds. They play all different positions. And when you get a chance to step back and look at them as a mosaic, it's pretty. And I love them, absolutely love them for the thoughtfulness and the effort they put into this program. This senior class has been through a lot. I know every coach is going to say their senior class has been through a lot. But when you think about two unprecedented events happening with the move to Division I, not to mention a global pandemic right in the heart of their careers, the way they weathered it, the way they stabilized this program and this university, I think was impressive, and I love them for it. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, hats off to Drake. I'd like to congratulate them. Wonderful job winning the conference. Fully aware of the commitment it takes by so many people to go through a conference season undefeated. Certainly we did not do that. We lost a game this year, but Drake was able to find a way to do that. So hats off to them. Congratulations to Drake, their team, and their players. And regarding the game, just grateful that once again, I know it sounds like a bit of a broken record. I understand that. But once again found a way to be successful even though we weren't pretty. And I think that's become our calling card. It's not running the ball or stopping the run. It's not amazing special teams. It's finding ways to be successful even when you're not at your best. And if I have a minute to step back and think about it, I'm grateful for that being the calling card of this team, because that's what's going to make them productive husbands and fathers down the road, is being able to handle those shortcomings in the manner they did and find a way to fight through it. So those are my opening statements. I'll open it up for questions. Hearing none, fantastic. Thank you very much. Come on. Go ahead.
It was almost a laugher by what you were telling me about your other games, so you only had to stop them with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I was speaking with one of the folks who does the clock timing. Does a great job, Mr. Moore. And he's like, man, this is tense. And I said, actually, up 6 and you have the ball. Relative to the other stuff, it's, if we had to, I was getting ready to have to deal with another walk-off, whether it be like a last-second field goal or something like that. But it's just been one of those seasons. I've been doing this 27 years and never been around a season like this. If I told you that there were 4 walk-offs, you would have thought that was a Major League Baseball player's pro career, not a football coach's season. And it was today. I thought that served us well, though, Patrick, because when it could have been more anxious-filled, I think our guys probably were at their best in that situation because they had been in it before.
They were down near the bottom of the standings, but it doesn't look like there's much difference between them and that were in the first division.
I think that's a fair statement, and I think that when you look at this conference, and I said this 2 years ago, and I agree with it now, parity is a word that's thrown around, but you don't have to take my word for it. You can just watch the teams play, right? And you get a game like Valpo St. Thomas, it's down to the wire. You get a game like Drake Butler, it's down to the wire. You get a game like St. Thomas, and it seems anybody this year, it was down to the wire for the most part. And I think that's great. A rising tide raises all boats. And for our league to be able to grow collectively because teams are upping their game, I think is pretty cool.
Was that double lateral pass for a touchdown? Is that the same one you ran at Harvard? And
missed it, yeah.
For a nice work, screwed it up.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. But that's what it was. We didn't complete it, right? Yeah, that was doozy. That's the same one that we hit to seal the game in the conference championship last year at Butler. But it's worked really well for us. But you described it really well. It was a toss, reverse, throwback, deep pass. And credit our tight ends. Our tight ends don't catch tons of passes from the 20 to 20. There were 2 real big ones that were caught today. But once you start approaching that red zone, strike zone, and especially in the red zone, they get targeted quite a bit. Patrick Wagner did a fantastic job today, not just with that one, but I think one of the key offensive plays would have been that 3rd and 6.5 in the fourth quarter where there was a bootleg and Amari did a nice job trusting that Patrick would be there, and he caught it and then probably scrambled for another 15 yards after that.
Does the fact that it's the tight end running that play add to the reception considerably?
I don't think so, because there's a couple tight ends on the field, but I think it makes us smile when the tight ends are able to catch the ball vertically. It might very well, I guess, asking.
It was a tight end at Harvard that you didn't get the ball to.
Yeah, it's always the same tight end. Yep.
We've talked a lot about injuries this year. And
Yep.
It seems like that was part of the reason why you struggled in some of these games. You just really haven't been at full capacity for most of the season.
Not this year, and I'm grateful that we have guys that step up. But Dean, I mean, you're right. When you have starters that go down, and unfortunately for us, they were down for long periods of time, if not the season. It definitely makes it tougher to be able to go through. We were just talking about conference parity and how close these games are, and it makes it tough to go through a season like that. But very fortunate that we were able to have enough depth to weather those storms.
It's interesting because you can have a successful season but also have it be disappointing. And that seems to be what this is, because you lost that one game and you weren't able to repeat as conference champs.
I think that's fair and that's real, and I'm not going to lie to you. We just took a senior picture out there, and I don't know the exact numbers, but you guys do, or Kelsey certainly can share with you whether it's 28 or 29 straight home wins, right? So that's a streak that goes back to when half of our recruits were in third grade. That's a long time, right? So happy that we were able to do things like that, but taking that senior picture with the guys 5 minutes ago on the field and not having the championship banner in your hands is something that it doesn't feel great. I love the fact that our program is in a place where I can say that, and it's just a great reminder, Dean, of it's such a competitive sport that if you don't do your job one day out of the year, you put yourself in the position that we were in. And that's why we just have to be so diligent and on it all the time. But it's also what makes the successes that we have that much more enjoyable. But I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, that losing, that was the first loss in about 2.5 years in our conference. And we need to work even harder for whatever reason, however we need to do it, so we're not in that position.
You talk about not looking pretty there, and Valparaiso kind of had you guys playing out of your own end zone in the first half there for a couple of possessions in a row. How did you try and get out of that rut there towards the end of the second quarter into the second half?
Well, I don't think we did a really good job of it. We were able to tilt the field a little bit on special teams. And when you're in a scenario like that and you're backed up, and we were pinned pretty deep, right? I mean, one of those was probably the 7-yard line. The other one was inside the 5 for sure. It might have been the 3-yard line. So you need to be able to stack first down on top of first down, right? The odds of you coming out and banging a 97-yard play are pretty rare, right? So to tilt the field, to shift the field, there's a lot of things that go into it. But let's not ignore the fact that as important as getting some first downs are in offense, being able to get some minus yardage plays and not letting them get the first downs on defense are probably equally as important, right? So there were, I think, in the second half when we were in that scenario, the guy that tilted the field was Adebayo. He came in and ran, very, very well, as he's done all year long and all of his career, frankly. And that helped us tilt the field to where, at the end of the game, at least the decision was, do we look for a long field goal? Do we go for it on 4th and medium, or do we punt the ball and try and pin them? And we selected the latter, believing that our defense would be able to do the job, and it did.
You kind of stole my question there. I was going to say that we saw a lot more of hope in the second half there. Was that a really conscious choice on your part?
Did I really steal your question, or did you just piggyback on mine?
It was written down.
Okay, I trust you. Right, so one of the things that I am in love with about the way that the program is built, like there are so many good running backs in our league. And I'm not going to sit here and say every team has a great running back, but half to 60% of the teams have ones that take last week. If we are not on it in every way, a good back is going to go off for 180 on us, and that doesn't happen very much. There's a lot of really good backs. what I think is unique about our program is that we have 3 guys, and I don't know how many times the reporters have asked, how do you handle 3 guys? A, you're going to need multiple backs when you play the style of football that we play because we run the football and there's a lot of hits to be taken. But I think the most impressive thing for a guy like Io is you look at last week's game, and as the game went on, we say all the time, 4-quarter game. Well, this was a 5-quarter game. It went to overtime. And the way that we were able to affect their run game in overtime versus being able to take Hope, who only had 7 carries on the day in the first 176 plays, and say, Hope, here's the ball, take it to the goal line, and he's fresh and he's healthy. And whether people want to admit it or not, my number one job is to look out for the health and safety of this football team. And part of that is having a lot of really good running backs. But it takes a very selfless group of running backs, of which when you get Hope up here and you talk to him, you'll understand that he embodies that exact philosophy. Any other questions that you had in your phone? Great job.
Not to overlook Black Hills State, but the home winning streak could face a good challenge next September. Northern Iowa.
Yeah, for sure. And frankly, it faced a really good challenge in the second half of this game, right? So I don't think that we're so special that every week is, it just feels like it's always at play. And look, the point in time, whether it's next week, next year, 30 games from now, at some point that streak is going to be broken. I know people don't want to talk about it, but we don't focus so much on the streak as we do the process of trying to play well. I know no one wants to write about that, but the day is going to come where that streak is broken, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to wake up and come to work on Sunday and try and get it back to 1. And that's the way it's going to be. But certainly it's tested all the time. You could have, just on this season, Butler, Butler has the ball on 4th down and 1 from the 1-yard line, and amply capable to not just score the ball and go for 2 the way they're built. You got the Morehead State-Kentucky game, which, you can even catch your breath in the second half. That one goes down to the final 10 seconds. And again, that goes back to the league is a good league, and that's why we have to work so hard to be who we are. Other thoughts, questions?
That Oshkosh game.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, boy. Yeah.
That's your best team?
Best in terms of could they win the most games relative to the level they were playing. It was either that or the 15 team that you covered, right? And you actually made a lot of those trips with us, right? Those were probably 2 of our better teams at 17 those years, 15, 16, 17. But, Dean and I were talking earlier this week, and that was a 34-31 game. It was December 3rd, 2016. Round 3 of the playoffs, I think it was round 3. And we were not just losing the turnover battle. Do you remember how many I said?
9 or 8 to nothing.
8 to nothing. We were -8 in that game. And it was 8-0. It wasn't like 9-1. It was 8-0. And still, for Alex Fensky to be able to have the ball at the end with the chance to win it was, that just astounds me. But, yeah, and frankly, 1994, when I was playing center at Ithaca, the 3rd of December in 1994, we're getting ready we just scored a touchdown with 30 seconds left to go to the national championship game if we could close it out. And we were playing W&J, and Jason Babarad returned the kickoff, 91 yards. I'll never forget it. So December 3rd definitely reminds me of the blessing of this sport. And sometimes the blessing of this sport is happy, and sometimes the blessing of this sport is deep, deep pain. But that day will be one that I don't soon forget.
Any other questions?
You're going to get a chance, I see him in the back of the room, to talk to Tommie Shelstad and to Hope Adebayo. And if there are anybody that exemplifies who our program is, it's guys like this. Tommie just played about 2,500 reps of football on that field, right? Hope Adebayo has sacrificed greatly, could go anywhere and get 60 carries a game. So I hope that you enjoy your time with them as much as I did. And Tommie, I miss you. I'm going to miss you even more. I love you very much. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks.
All right, we are here with Tommie Shelstad, fifth-year linebacker, and Hope Adebayo, junior running back. Okay, you are coming back? Okay, great. Okay. We open the floor to questions.
Tommie, I'm guessing you don't want to take that uniform off.
I mean, I try. There's a lot of people to talk to out there, so I just ran in here. I was literally sprinting from the field back in here, so that's why I had to take a seat back there. I was catching my breath.
Thoughts on your last game?
It's been an honor. I think mentally, I really want to come back next week and play a playoff game, right? But physically, I was trying to get off the bench today, and my knees were killing, so I didn't know. But I think it's a little mixed emotions. I think I really had a good time here. Going from D3 to D1 is a dream come true, and it's been a blessing to be with the boys right here too, and everybody up in the locker room has been a big blessing in my life.
Looking into next season, you know, you've had guys like this with you. So how are you looking to continue that legacy, make them proud going into next season?
Oh my goodness, to have a guy like 3-4, just the things that he does for the team that just go unnoticed, and just continuously just putting so much pressure on offenses. Like, I'm definitely gonna miss seeing that, sitting on the bench, and I'm like, oh, there goes 3-4 getting a sack. So I'm definitely going to miss him, but. Like you said, just building off of that. Like, the younger guys in that defensive room, they've been able to see what Tommie has done, and I pray that they just continue to build off of that and even grow more. So,
I hope you guys had a good season, obviously, but you came up short.
Yeah.
Repeating as champs, so
Yeah.
Coach talked about not being able to have that photo with the conference championship trophy. What's that feel like for you?
man, I heard Coach talking about one off day can really change the trajectory of the whole season, and that's exactly what happened. And we'll figure it out. Like, right now we can be sad, but as soon as we start training again, we're just on to the next, and we'll learn from this. We always learn from this. So I'm just grateful for what happened and how it turned out, because it gives us a fire, and it allows us to know what we can really achieve. So.
I think it's tough to know that someone else won the league that you won last year, but they're a very good team. I'm not gonna lie. I think they just played very well against us. They had our number. But I mean, I'm just proud of the boys and proud of everybody how we finished it off. It's good to see everybody come back from a tough loss like that. So I'm happy we finished it out like this.
Hope you had some pretty pivotal runs in the second half there leading up to that touchdown. So
Yeah.
how'd that feel being able to sort of secure that win there?
Oh my goodness. Even the big run that I believe in the third quarter, I was even like, oh my goodness, I'm not done yet. but just super thankful that Coach Caruso and the other coaching staff gives me the opportunity to run the ball. And any one of us, Sean or Gabe, could have done the same thing. But I'm just thankful that I was able to do that, and great team win. Even the O-line, like that Valpo defense is a really good defense, and I really give them credit. But that our O-line was able to continue pursuing, that was huge. So grateful for that.
And when you guys came here, you couldn't have imagined going to ancient Harvard Stadium to play a football game. What did that mean to you? Didn't turn out the way you wanted.
Right. It was a good experience to, play a big school like that, because, I mean, when I first came here as a Division III player, I was like, you know what, hey, we're going to stick with the Minnesota teams. Hopefully we go to playoffs. Hopefully we do some damage in there. But, I mean, once we got the announcement for D1, I'm like, what's next? What big schools have I heard of that I really want to play against? And, man, once they announced we're going to play against Harvard, I was like, let's go, fired up for it. But, I mean, it was a tough loss when we went down there. But it was a good experience to see something different, because I've never been to Boston before. And, I mean, it was a nice city, but it kind of ruined it with the loss and everything. But it was a good time being down there for the first time.
Harvard has 5,000 acres, and you guys got 80.
Yeah.
Yeah,
big
Auburn
play.
was good.
Mhm.
It was a good time, and like Tommie said, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But I think that's just what this whole offseason is about, just understanding these losses and understanding how do we grow from them. And Harvard is definitely one that we're going to try to cling on to, but also let go and just go on to the next one. So.
Tommie, what would you tell yourself as a freshman going back 5 years about St. Thomas football?
It's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a long road, man. You just prepare yourself for it. You never know what's going to happen or what opportunities present yourself with, and I think you just got to take advantage of everything you got. I came in here, I was like a 5th or 6th string, never played inside linebacker. And honestly, you just got to work your tail off. You got to prepare well, watch a lot of film, do a lot of things to get you right, to get you in this position that I've been here today. So thankful and blessed that I've actually had the teammates that I have. I don't think I would be here without having, Bunts or one of those D linemen or Zog, because they definitely game plan against them, and I'm just there to clean it up, So, but I'm just thankful that I'm here. Just gotta be ready for the next opportunity that I got here and just learn from what I've just done.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.